The sun had set long ago, and the moon hung low in the sky, casting a silvery glow over the ancient city. In the shadows, a figure moved with silent grace. He was tall and slender, with pale skin and piercing blue eyes. His name was Adrian, and he was a vampire. Adrian had lived for centuries, and he had seen many things. He had witnessed the rise and fall of vampires, the birth and death of stars. But nothing could compare to the eternal nightfall that had enveloped the world. It had started 1,000 years ago, with a great cataclysm. The sun had disappeared from the sky, and darkness had reigned supreme. At first, the people had panicked, but they had eventually adapted to the new way of life. But for Adrian, the eternal nightfall was a curse. He was no longer able to bask in the sun's warm rays, or to feel the gentle breeze on his skin. He was trapped in a world of endless darkness. But Adrian was a survivor. He had found ways to thrive in the eternal nightfall. He hunted at night, feeding on the blood of the living. He used his vampiric powers to move through the darkness unseen, and he found solace in the company of other vampires, who were also cursed to live in the eternal night. One night, Adrian was hunting in the city when he came across a young woman. She was alone and lost, and she looked terrified. Adrian could have easily killed her, but he was drawn to her. He had never seen anyone so beautiful before. The woman's name was Anya, and she was a scholar. She had been studying the eternal nightfall, and she was determined to find a way to bring back the sun. Adrian was intrigued by Anya's quest, and he offered to help her. Together, Adrian and Anya searched for a way to end the eternal nightfall. They traveled to the far corners of the world, and they consulted with ancient texts and wise elders, but they could find no solution. One day, Anya discovered a lost prophecy. The prophecy spoke of a vampire who would be the key to ending the eternal nightfall. But the prophecy was cryptic, and it was unclear what the vampire had to do. Adrian knew that he was the vampire that the prophecy spoke of. He was the oldest and most powerful vampire in the world, and he was the only one who could end the eternal nightfall. But Adrian was hesitant. He had lived in the darkness for so long, and he had grown accustomed to it. He was afraid of what would happen if the sun returned. But Anya convinced Adrian that he had to fulfill the prophecy. She told him that the world needed the sun, and that he was the only one who could bring it back. Adrian agreed to help Anya. He used his vampiric powers to travel to the heart of the eternal nightfall. There, he faced a powerful demon who was responsible for the darkness. Adrian fought the demon with all his might. It was a long and difficult battle, but in the end, Adrian was victorious. He defeated the demon and ended the eternal nightfall. The sun returned to the sky, and the world was bathed in light once more. Adrian and Anya were hailed as heroes, and Adrian finally found the peace that he had craved for centuries.